Hey guys, how's it going? It's Sean. So this is a best of video for the Sean Pablo channel. These are the high engagement moments that you guys talked a lot about in the comments and that I checked in the analytics. Also, if you're currently studying English, I highly recommend you join my channel membership. You can see both English and Korean scripts for all the videos that I make so that you can follow along while you're listening to the video. Just click the join membership button down below to learn more. All right, without further ado, let's begin.
I'm from Russia.
What brings you to Korea?
I was just coming back home from Canada and I decided to stop by for 3 days. But I liked it so much that I'm staying here. It's like my 4th week.
What did you fall in love with?
The vibe.
The vibe.
I think Korean people are very fun. To be
fun.
around. In Korea, usually people just come up randomly on the street to meet me. I don't know.
Say hi to you.
Yeah.
What does the Korean language sound like to you?
Very emotionally expressive.
Yeah.
It's gentle, but at the same time, it's kind of reckless. I don't know, if you get what I mean.
Reckless but gentle.
Yeah. The consonants, to me, sound very sharp, but the vowels, very gentle. Like 사랑해요, I like the ending.
Hey, how's it going? What's your name? Where are you from?
How you doing? My name is Pat. I'm from Atlanta.
Welcome to Korea, Pat.
Appreciate it, man.
What brings you here?
You know what I'm saying? I've been traveling. I guess it's just time to travel around Korea a little bit. So,
what have you heard about South Korea before you got here?
I heard they like Americans in South Korea. I heard Seoul. It was a nice city, so
Yeah.
I just came to see for myself,
Yeah, to see if it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Is it true?
Yeah, Seoul very nice. I like Hyundai, Itaewon. It's nice shopping. It stink, but it's all right. It smell bad. It smell real bad out here, but.
You mean the markets or just the
No,
sewer smell
the sewage system. They gotta get that together.
Sure.
It smell like New York a little bit.
So when you're hanging out with a Korean friend or something, they might think, you don't like spicy food. You don't like sharing from the same dish. You don't like soju. I'm just wondering, what are some things that Koreans might think you don't like, but you actually do like?
If you catch a Korean staring at you, they'll be like, sorry. I'm like, it's okay. So I guess, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not from Korea.
Yeah.
I'm 6'4" and black, so you gonna stare if you don't see too many
Not a
people
lot
that
of
look like
6'4"
me.
black guys
But
that are born here. Yeah.
So they apologize there, but I'm like, it's all right, man. It's cool. You can look at me. I'm not mean. You see what I'm saying?
It's really interesting because in America, I think it can be pretty rude to stare.
Yeah, you can't stare at nobody in America for too long.
Yeah.
it might be something different.
What do you mean by that?
You might be a little altercation depending on where you at.
Oh, really? Your mind is more open here because you realize that you're more unique here.
Yes, I'm fine with a lot of things. I'm pretty open-minded. I like exploring different cultures, things of that nature. So,
hey guys, how's it going? Where are you from?
Yeah, we're from Germany and we're fine.
What's something that kind of shocked you? You didn't expect this. I'm sure there's a few things.
Yes. One thing in particular, when we arrived at our station and we're going to the smoking area, and there were two beautiful women coming to the smoking area asking for a lighter, and of course, and then they're spitting in the trash can like crazy. Oh. We were standing there like, that didn't happen.
Okay. You're shocked by that?
Yeah, that's a huge culture shock.
Anything that kind of shocked you? You're like, wow, I didn't expect that.
Yeah, my impression was it's so loud, everywhere's music, everywhere's lights. Yeah, but when you're going into a train and drive to the next station, it's quite still. Yeah, nobody's talking, everybody is on his mobile phone, but when you're going out, it's loud, it's, very impressed.
That's such an interesting comparison. Active, lively, music, people, dancing, performance. The subway's calm, quiet. What does the Korean language sound like to you?
I think it melts together a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it flows. I don't know, because I have the contrast with Japan.
Yeah.
I always feel in Japan everything is a bit more organized maybe in a way, and the language is also very rhythmic. And then Korea is more warm, and people are really more welcoming. And I feel the language is kind of this too, more warm, more blending together.
Japanese kind of feels like someone's playing drums or something with on a table. It's I don't know.
Yeah.
It's very staccato, rhythmic. I know what you mean.
Yeah, exactly. Korean, I feel when you read out the words, they seem really long, and then you hear somebody say it, and it's
That's so true. Do you have an example of that?
감사합니다.
Yeah.
I think when you write it out, it's 감사합니다.
Yeah.
It's 감사합니다. It's bam.
That's hilarious. Yeah. That's so true.
It sounds a bit nasal.
Nasally.
A bit like Thailand. Thai language.
Does it? Okay. Do you feel poor in Korea?
Korea is pretty affordable. Of course, food here is more expensive than in other countries like mine. But the thing is, here also salaries are higher. But the inflation is a problem. But I don't really see the like last year was crazy because you see like kimbap was like 2,000 and then next week was 3,000 and then 4,000. And I felt like I was in Venezuela back again. I was like, what's going on here? I'm in Venezuela.
Monopoly money.
But right now it's stable. It's stable.
Feel that?
Yeah, right now I feel it's stable. Look, I know a lot about inflation. I'm from Venezuela. Prices are not soaring up like before. I think it's okay. It's not that bad right now. So I think it's affordable, but because I'm single. I live alone, I'm single, and I live in a studio, so it's okay. But for a family, it would be impossible. Like having children here, I understand why people don't have children. Like how can you afford like all those stuff? It's so freaking expensive, I couldn't. If you're alone and if you're single, even I think some people here don't even date because they don't, not because they don't want, because they don't have money. So how can you date when you have to spend so much money on dating?
Hey, how's it going? What's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Sadia. I'm from New York.
All right, New Yorker.
Yeah.
What brings you to Korea?
I am here to study. I'm at Yonsei University studying business, specifically finance.
2024, you come here. Do you feel poor in Korea?
I don't feel poor in Korea. I feel extremely rich.
Okay.
New York is so expensive. It's actually mind-blowingly expensive, and I hate living there, but I was born and raised there, so I can't leave. But
Where in New York? Manhattan? Or?
Yeah.
Wow.
But all of New York. I was born in Queens, but then, I go to school in Manhattan, so I'm always there. But everything's so expensive, so like getting food here is like what I would get in New York would be $15. Here it's like $5. So I'm in shock. So I feel rich, and it's not normal for me.
Food here, it's like super spicy.
Next level.
So when they say spice, you gotta tell them a little bit of spice because they douse it in hot sauce, and then it's all bad.
It's all bad, not all good. It's all bad.
Here from there, you hear me, man? I like spicy food, but Korean spicy is a different level of spice.
Yeah. Soju, you like soju?
Hey, Benji, come here. He asked if I like soju. I love soju.
Oh, okay.
We drink soju like it's water.
Like it's water. Just straight soju or the flavor one?
Nah, soju. The one with the red cap, the straight one. You crack the seal and just drink it.
Oh man. Sounds like you're very comfortable here.
Yeah, I like.
Is there anything here that you're like, wow, things are cheap, but this is kind of expensive?
No, nothing. Honestly.
Nothing. So you're going to school here. Did you find a place to live?
Yeah, I'm being in the dorms. The dorm is so cheap too. Oh my god! I just remembered. For the entire 4 months or 5 months that I'm staying here, the dorm is $1,500. Rent in New York is $3,000 a month on average, or probably more.
Okay, so $1,500 USD for 4 months.
Correct.
And 1 month in New York is, say it again?
My friends pay around like $3,000.
Yikes.
Yeah. So.
What does Korean sound like to you?
For me, it sounds busy. It's fast. Yeah, complicated, and they have less words than in English.
Less words than English. What do you mean by that?
When you say Jonem, Annika, it's just 2 words, and when you say my name is Annika, it's.
Oh, I see what you mean. So you can say more with less words. Are you hungry? 배고파? Right?
Yeah.
Ah, interesting. But at the same time, complicated.
Yeah.
Why do you say it's complicated?
It's
very different pronunciation. I think it's more about sounds you're making and not about like the alphabet we're used to. So yeah.
I think it also sounds very like fluent that you do everything together and say like one sentence and do not make so many pauses in between.
Maybe compared to English or German, like there's more pauses. But Korean is just like da 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 da.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's easy to make money as well in Korea.
Okay, tell me more. What do you mean?
I mean, if you're a student, there are a lot of contests. You can earn money through the contests, and also like there are a lot of influencing networks. You have to make reels, and there are a lot of prizes. And Korean government is like quite generous in giving out money for certain. Just play your part, and you'll get the money.
Really?
Yeah.
You think it's easier to make money here compared to Pakistan?
As a student, yes. As a student, it's way easy, but only if you know Korean. Like, it's way harder if you only speak English because they expect foreigners to speak Korean, and most of the influencer activities, they want you to do it in Korean or either in your native language.
So you're saying that the US dollar is actually pretty weak right now?
At least
What do you mean by that?
In the US,
Yeah.
inflation is insane.
Talk to me about that.
So our housing prices, grocery prices, it's about double right now as it was maybe 5 years ago. So it's at least everyone I know is living pretty paycheck to paycheck. After rent and groceries, we don't have a ton left over.
Yeah.
So it's just less affordable to live there than it used to be.
I want to be comfortable. How much do I need to earn a month in the US?
For one person, I would say maybe $5,000 a month.
Okay.
Yeah. For
That's
two
great.
people, probably more like 10,000 a month. Yeah.
Hey guys, how's it going? What's your name? Where are you from?
I'm from Turkey.
I'm also from Turkey. I'm the big sister. My name is Tuna.
You guys related?
Yeah, siblings.
You can answer for her. How did you lose your voice?
We were doing karaoke last night and she was screaming so loud, so she lost her voice.
Oh goodness. So what are you guys doing in Korea?
We are just traveling. We've been interested in Korean culture, like K-pop, K-drama, like since middle school, high school. So we just like came to, live our dreams.
Korean culture. Is it really popular in Turkey?
Yeah, it is really popular.
Or other countries or whatever?
Yeah, brother countries
Yeah.
and like the girls like it very much there.
Oh yeah? You came here, new language, new people, new culture, new faces, new food, new everything. What's something that you're like, this is a little bit hard for me to get used to?
First, we feel very familiar to here, but the one thing that we are struggling with right now, actually we like Korean food a lot, but like the smell, streets smell food constantly, and it's just like we can't eat anything. Like today, like we just ate like a pancake and we like ate it half, and like we didn't eat anything because the smell makes us a bit sick. And
Wait.
we like Korean food.
Okay.
Like, we eat like a lot in our country too, but that's what I'm struggling with.
Okay, let me try to understand this. So you're just walking around and you're smelling food from the streets.
Yeah, everywhere. Don't
Even
you smell,
now?
Yeah, don't you smell it? I smell.
It smells like fish.
Fishy, kinda.
Smells fishy.
And
Maybe
we are
I'm
not
just used to it.
Yeah,
I've been here for 10 years, so maybe I'm just used to it.
Yeah, no judgment. It's just like
It's different.
Yeah, it's different.
So you're smelling food, you're smelling fish,
Yeah.
Korean spices, everything, and it's making you lose your appetite.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, but maybe it's also same in my country too. Maybe like other people that coming from like different countries also like struggling with the smell of Turkish food, but we are just used to it.
Yeah.
But right now, yeah, that's what we are struggling with.
Wow, okay. How about the other way? Like, okay, I could get used to this. This is cool. This is awesome here. I wish I had this where I was living.
In our country, like we can't find this youthful like this lifestyle, and here you just like you wanna go there and like have fun every day. Like we just wanna be here. We just wanna stay in the moment, like watching lights, people and stuff. Yeah, I wish like we had this in our country too.
Hey, how's it going? What's your name? Where are you from?
Hello, my name is Anna. I'm from Brazil.
So, what brings you to Korea?
So I'm a model actually, so I'm working here. I guess the old people, they are more close-minded.
Yeah.
So I think they're not like really happy with foreigners.
Is there a specific example that makes you think that?
For example, I went to a convenience store. I was just like waiting there for a bit, and the guy there was a bit rude with me, and I did nothing wrong, so I was like kind of shocked. And the drivers also, they're like a bit aggressive.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm feeling here.
The taxi drivers.
But I'm comparing with other countries in Asia. That's
Yeah. I think a big thing too is like Koreans are pretty close with other Koreans too.
Yeah.
So people don't talk to each other in the street much here.
I'm just comparing my experience around the world.
Totally.
But I just arrived, so maybe my mind
feels
will
closed.
change. Yeah, my mind will change soon, probably.
Okay. If you make Korean friends too, yeah, that might help. You should come to Korea because this.
Because of tteokbokki. I'm just joking. How the city is clean, it's completely clean. You cannot see like any trash on the street.
Yeah.
This is really good. Comparing with my country, also, this is perfect.
How about the smell? A lot of people were saying that there's some weird smells here. Did you have an issue with that or no?
For me, I'm already like fine with that. The smell is fine and is kind of similar with other countries.
So not an issue.
No, I'm fine with that.
Interesting. So that's really case by case, person to person, right?
I think so, yes.
Hey guys, what's going on? What's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Antoine. I'm from France.
And my name is Clem and I'm from France too.
How long have you been in Korea?
We've been here for about 2 years now.
Years.
Yeah, 2 years. We've been together. We're a couple.
That was very synchronized. That was good.
We are.
Yeah.
Why did you come to Korea? What brought you here?
We just wanted to live in Asia, in a nice country, and we've both been to Korea before as a tourist separately, and we just really loved it so much that we said, oh yeah, let's do a working holiday visa here and just have a good time.
So you did a bunch of traveling solo, and then you guys met each other, and you were talking, hey, let's experience this as a couple, and you decided on Korea.
Yes.
That's really cool. Before coming to Korea, your preconceptions, what were you expecting? I'm curious how that's different from actually living here.
I had no expectation of Korea, like culturally or anything, just like what I've seen from those movies only, like Old Boy and Mother and The Wailing and like all of these like creepy movies, and that was my experience. And I was like, I want to see the countryside, I want to see scary stuff, and so I was expecting more of like a southeastern country.
Southeastern Asia.
Exactly. So when I arrived, I was really prepared. I was expecting jungle, and like I arrived in Incheon, so I was with my backpack, and I was like, okay, let's go to the main city. It was just like a 1 hour like subway ride. I was like, oh, okay. So I should have brought some clothes actually, and not just like tech wear.
Yeah. So you didn't need all that sunscreen, that machete to cut down the grass,
Anti-leech stuff and everything.
Anti-leech stuff. You didn't need it.
I didn't. I even had the pouch like you put under the clothes and everything that some people gifted me. They were like, oh, you're going to Korea. Like, what is going on? Because like no one knew in my family. And coming here, just had a really good time of just hanging out, and like the cafe culture and everything was so lovely. Like, okay, it wasn't like the tropical, like dangerous jungle trip I was expecting for some reason, but I really enjoyed it. I was like, oh, we will love it together, because you didn't have the same experience as me too.
No, from me it was a bit different because I am half Japanese. So when I arrived there as a student a couple years ago, I was kind of like trying to find the little thing, oh, Japan is better for this, and I was really trying to find a way to dislike Korea, to say, oh, Japan is better for that, and it's better for that. Oh, 7-Eleven, oh, we have the same in Japan and everything. And actually, the more I stayed here, the more I realized that, oh, actually things are nicer here. The cafe culture, the streets, vibe and everything. So I think I like Korea now more than I like Japan.
That is so interesting. What made you just want to compare those two? Is there like some competition? Like,
I guess
Japan is better, no, Korea is better.
Yeah, I guess there's historically always been like some kind of a
tension
thing between the two of them.
Tension,
some kind of tension. War.
Some call it war, or colonization, but yeah.
And so I guess there was a part of pride in me, like, oh, I'm Japanese, I arrived here and I will try to find all the negative things about Korea. And I could not find that many of them. So
you failed on your quest.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Shame of the nation.
Cool. So you speak English, obviously. Do you speak French? Do you speak Japanese as well?
No, just a little.
Just a little bit.
Just
okay.
a little.
Hello, gentlemen. What's your name and where are you from?
David, the Chicago area, United States.
All right.
Mike, Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay.
I do like how everybody, like, regardless whether it's soccer or football or like basketball or hockey, like they have supporter section.
Like hardcore fans for the team.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they show out.
More than the U.S.
Definitely.
Yeah. The fan culture.
In the States, you got teams like the Rays or like Pittsburgh or somebody. When they're doing bad, low attendance.
Losers.
Exactly. Over here, cue 'em heroes, right? Worst record in the league probably. Their support
doesn't matter.
There. Yeah, their support is still there. You're gonna have support regardless, and it's gonna be nearly full every game. So.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Loyalty.
Oh yeah. Hard to come by in the States.
Which is harder to learn, English or Korean?
Korean.
Oh.
My English is not good, I think, but
you guys are great. You speak well.
But Korean.
No. Why is it so hard? Pronunciation?
No, pronunciation is not a problem.
Okay.
I think the big problem is memorizing all words in Korean. They have a lot of words with similar meaning.
Yes, that is true. Hey guys, how's it going? What's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Lizette and I'm from the US.
My name's Kaylee and I'm from the US also.
Cool. Where in the US are you guys from?
I'm from California.
Yeah.
I'm from Virginia.
Like at school specifically, like we noticed that there's people that brush their teeth in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And like at my university, that doesn't happen.
Yeah,
So,
like after they eat or something.
Yeah,
and the hair rollers
Oh, yeah, the hair
everywhere.
rollers,
Yeah, it's definitely different.
Hair rollers everywhere, like on the subway, like.
Yeah, it's like back home. It's like kind of embarrassing. Here they have no shame, but I mean I love it. So.
Or they get ready like while they're on the bus, and that's normalized. Whereas I think back home, I don't think that'd be as normalized.
I'm curious, like, why would that be embarrassing?
Back home, like you either go out like without makeup already, or you just don't go out, or like I think it's just like more set in stone, like what you want to do, as opposed to like doing it while you're going
in the middle.
Yeah, and I think also some people back home are like a little bit more judgy about it. Here, I feel like they don't care too much because I think the beauty standard here is pretty high, so it's not a big deal. Back home, people care. Like they'll definitely judge you the wrong way. Like they'll be like, "Oh, what do you need to get ready for?"
Like you're trying too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.